The description in Genesis 1, verses 1 through 31, shows how the physical universe slowly came into being. The Elohim, or gods, shape the basic materials into the solar system. Once they create the planets, including the stars, the Elohim take their places in these planets and keep moving in their orbits, watching over all living things on Earth through the ages. The way our solar system was created is the same for all other solar systems in the universe. This pattern also applies to all forms of life in these systems, from stars and planets to tiny grains of sand and atoms. This idea is part of the Kabbalistic teaching about the Macrocosm, the larger universe, and the Microcosm, the smaller parts, showing that both are connected and follow similar patterns. This led Kabbalists to say that man is a little universe and the universe is the grand man. This doesn't mean that the universe looks like a person, but that the same basic patterns and principles that shape humans also shape the universe. When the Elohim say, "Let us make man in our own image," they mean that humans should follow the patterns of the larger creation and share similar principles. Medieval theologians believed that the 7 creative periods called days made a week just like our weeks. However, many wise ancient philosophers disagreed, saying that the word day in Genesis actually meant a long period of time, like an age or cycle. Science uses words like period or age to describe important stages in the Earth's evolution and the life on it, such as the Miocene or Pliocene ages or the glacial period. Modern science believes the Earth has existed for about 500 to 1,000 million years. Fossil discoveries show that animals lived on Earth at least 175 million years ago. When we compare this with the belief that God created the Earth around 5,000 years ago, it becomes clear that science and theology have very different views. Biblical scholars do not hold the same rigid beliefs as some religious figures, who strictly follow every word in the revised version of the Bible. There is strong evidence suggesting that the Genesis account describes events that took place over at least 1 billion years. It explains how the forces of nature gradually created the solar system, the planets, and then, focusing on Earth, developed life to what we see today. The Elohim, along with their spiritual beings, descended into the early chaotic materials of the universe and shaped these materials into the stars and planets. This process represents the journey of spirit into physical matter. The development of the universe through the appearance of better and better forms of life, or the growth of consciousness through increasingly complex beings, is what Darwin referred to as evolution. There isn't a true conflict between science and religion. The main issue comes from the very brief description of creation in Genesis. If we replace the phrase "and God created" with "and the forces of nature over a long time caused to appear," many of the disagreements can be resolved. It's important to understand that the ancients saw their gods as creative forces, not as personal beings using magic in the universe. They viewed these gods as aspects of creative intelligence that gradually unfolded through their creations. In Egyptian beliefs, the gods filled space with their essence, and from this, the seeds of divine nature grew to create the universe. The right way to think about this is to see divinity as evolving within the universe. Evolution is like eternal life shining through living beings, similar to how light shines through a lamp. It also means that life is developing better forms to express its potential. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 24 to 26, it's clear that the ancients understood the connection between humans and animals. On the 6th day, both animals and humans were created, with animals appearing first and then humans, who were made in the image or likeness of the Elohim. The first part of verse 26 is important to highlight. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Then in the last part of verse 27 it says, "Male and female created he them." This can be confusing in the King James Version. It's clear that the word God is meant to be plural because of the phrase, "Let us make man in our image." Here, God should be understood as Elohim, the Creator. The word "said" here means more than just speaking. It suggests a will or inner determination. This idea is similar to the Tibetan creation belief, where worlds are formed through meditation or deep mental focus by the dhyanas. In Gnostic writings, it is said that the builders each gave a part of their nature to man, so when he was fully created, He shared in all universal powers and also had the life of the eternal Father, Ein Sof, the boundless.